Do y'all remember the Black Republicans sketch from Key and Peele, essentially saying that Black Republicans all dress and act the exact same? Well, I caught some clips of the newest Jubilee video, and Michael, come on.
What up, my beautiful black people? Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. You ever notice how black Republicans feel like they were grown in a GOP test tube in a lab somewhere under Ronald Reagan's shrine? I mean, let's be honest, that Key and Peele skit wasn't just funny, it was prophecy. Because we all know Black MAGA, black Republicans who strongly support Trump and his policies and his agendas, something's off about them. It's like they're trying way too hard to be a part of their crowd, a part of their group, like they're distant from us until they actually need something. Well, today I intend to expose more of these hypocrisies because, as I said, I'm a sick bastard and it's just funny. We have a lot to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
Say what? What? Y'all don't even understand, man. The police arrested me for no reason.
The police don't do that. They're your friends. They're here to protect and serve.
Yeah, don't y'all understand? Man, I went to prison for 8 years, and the only thing I learned was how to resole shoes.
Well, darn it, you should be darn happy that you learned a trade. Well, heck, I've got a few pair backstage. You can start on them right after the show. You can even shine them for me.
Now, who didn't love and live in color back in the day? They always brought to light the things that were going on in our society that were wrong. And they put it in such a funny way that it was digestible to us. That show left way before its time. But even that Living Color crew tried to warn us, didn't they? We might have all been duped by I don't see color anymore, because for a while it felt like there was a chance to have a post-racial world. And we see that there's a scramble to take us backwards from all the progress that was made by our forefathers and ancestors. And that's one of the reasons why black Republicans just don't sit right with me. How can you support people who have such a backwards mentality and point of view?
If you are on Medicaid, you should be able to work. If you can work, you should work. Having the restoration of work requirements saves billions of dollars.
Yes, but at what cost?
Damn near 40% of children are on fucking Medicaid. So what, are we gonna make child labor a thing again, you milk dud looking fuck?
This is one of those Republicans that just makes the hairs on my neck stand the hell up. I mean, all that pandering for Trump not to even get a cabinet seat. This one right here, he's a special dude. A black man pushing for Medicaid work requirements. But who do you think this really affects? Trust fund kids? Nah, it's Big Mama, Uncle James, your cousin Ray Ray with diabetes who's now got to prove that they deserve to live. That ain't small government. That's weaponized respectability in a navy blue suit. F you. I hate that piece of shit.
How is Trump a racist?
You're joking, right?
People always telling me Trump racist, Trump this, Trump that. Before he was a politician, all you see was Trump with black people at parties, in movies. But all of a sudden, he became a Republican. Now, all this slander coming. He's racist. He's this. He's that.
Shut your mouth and your fat ass, boy.
Some people give me crap for my voice on this channel, but I'm going to use it to my advantage to discuss what we just saw. Let's play a game. Racism or nah? That was quite funny to me. Trump called Africa a shithole, took out a full-page ad on the Central Park 5, and refused to rent to black tenants. Sir, racism isn't a riddle, it's a resume. And just because Trump stands around with black people doesn't mean that he's not a racist. Sometimes racists like to insulate themselves by saying that they have a few black friends. You ever heard that before? Again, Trump wants to take us backwards to a time that was never great for black people. Remember that shit.
Just like he said, we don't want people from these shithole countries. We want white people. And that's exactly what he brought with open arms.
Exactly.
Treating everybody else like trash. And you're going to act like it's not racism on his part, but it's racism on mine for bringing it up. Like, that's what I do not understand about the Republicans. We are not supposed to speak about anything, or we're playing the race card. But the people who are doing the obvious racism, oh, they're just bringing in people that they care about. Come on, man. It's obviously racism.
And don't let that immigration stuff slide past. Trump was out here handing out golden tickets to white South Africans over made-up farm violence. But meanwhile, Haitians, Mexicans, and Africans straight to deportation, straight out of the country. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That ain't policy. That's colonial cosplay with a red hat. Again, my people, you have to look at the bigger picture. White people have a negative birth rate, and this shit scared them. So now they're going to try to import white people that will benefit them, pay them, and benefit their system, while getting rid of all the people that would make people of color the majority. See, they're not worried about us because we're going to clinics to get rid of our kids. We're not giving our children proper education and guidance so they go to jail. They're not worried about us. We would have been the majority minority had we stuck together. And this is another reason that Black Republicans feel that they're above us, because they feel like we're better than what the neighborhood was, instead of being leaders and guiding the neighborhood. But that's not their goal. Oh no, they're major grifters. Remember that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Donald Trump saved America from the Biden administration.
You're wrong. The buffoonery is unbelievable. They're all gonna laugh at you.
And let's not talk about this shorty twerking for Trump like it was a campaign commercial for confusion. My ancestors collectively turning over in their graves, creating electricity. Sis, you dancing for a man who don't even dance with rhythm. This is par for the course for you all who like to hold and sniff the jockstrap of President Trump. All up in them dirty diapers, all up in that booty. Maybe that's why you don't have one.
Down if your husband goes to you for 48 hours and you're financially reliant on him and you only have $13 yesterday. Like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the cat because I can't clean the litter box, I'm pregnant. I'm trying to figure out, like, bills, like, what am I, like, you're gonna pay those? Like, am I still gonna get an allowance? Like, what's gonna happen?
Just a PSA before you get invested. Just be aware.
I voted. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Just be aware.
I was so invested in this story until she said, am I still gonna get an allowance? When she said that, I was like, okay, I might know what kind of relationship this is. And you find out she voted for Trump. I'm like, that makes sense.
My boyfriend is one of the people who voted for Trump. Part of this new bill that Trump is trying to pass includes cutting the Pell Grant funding and increasing the amount of credit hours that you have to enroll in to receive certain funding. I am a student who receives Pell Grant. I told him that as early as July 1st, depending on how this bill goes through Senate, I could be majorly affected. He went silent on me. And it pissed me off because that is a common thing amongst Trump supporters to me. Silence when reason is presented.
Because people are stupid.
What he ended up telling me is I'm not going to apologize for the political decisions that I made. Like, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm not going to apologize for my decision. I said, okay, that's fine. Let me ask you this. What did you gain from your decision? He now does not want to talk about politics anymore. He don't want to talk about politics. He don't want to talk about it.
Now, this sister I feel for. When people say, how can you stop being friends with someone just for who they voted for? Because how can you actually say that you love someone and then vote for someone who would actively hurt them? This Black woman was on college Pell Grants. Her man is voting to cut them. This is not a relationship. That's an op living in your dorm. You studying psychology while he majors in betrayal. Forgive us if we no longer trust you with our heart, knowing that you would cut it out with a damn spoon.
Keith, don't go there. Do not go there. I know what it means to be a Black man in this country. I know, and I experience racism on a regular basis by being a Trump supporter and by being a proud American who happens to be a Republican. I get
so that's the racism
Keith,
you experience by being a Trump
I get
supporter?
racist.
Did he ever got a job offer from the White House? Was all of that worth it? Was it worth it, Paris? All of you Black Trumpers, the Katrina Pearsons, the Brandon Tatums, Candace Owens, y'all never got no job offers.
You ever notice the louder a Black Republican screams, I'm Black too, the quieter they get about police brutality, redlining, reparations, all the shit that Trump is doing to the Black community, trying to tear down our history, trying to get rid of us out of power positions. Oh, I'm Black too. Trump doesn't give a shit about that. He's using you like a pawn, and you all have not benefited from this shit. It's really like these black Republicans have traded their melanin for a Fox News segment and a speaking gig at CPAC. Sir, you can be black and still be the tool in the toolbox they used against us. But see, again, these are all grifters. They know that as long as they're speaking against black people, white people are going to give them money. But you know what they won't give them? Respect or power. Nah, get back in the kitchen, boy.
I've had quite a few people tell me that they were surprised that I didn't vote MAGA because a lot of Vietnamese people did. And I can't explain the ignorance. I don't get it myself. I don't understand any person of color at this point in the game that would still be voting for MAGA. If they referred to Chinese people as peasants, if they referred to COVID as the Kung flu, if they called Puerto Rico garbage, but you see they make exemptions for anyone with pale white skin, even if they're an illegal immigrant. As long as they're from Europe, Russia, the UK, or somewhere where their skin is white, you notice we don't hear any derogatory terms for them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But if you're a person of color and you voted MAGA, what makes you think they're not going to use those same words or different words, derogatory words, to describe you?
When even our Asian cousins are side-eyeing your political choices like, wait, y'all chose him? It's giving confused. It's giving self-inflicted wounds. When the whole global diaspora are pulling receipts, maybe it's time to check yourself. That is another reason why we don't understand how some Latin and Hispanic people could vote for Trump. That's why it's confusing to us how you would believe that this man ever had your best interest in mind. You may not agree with the way that the black community is moving in your eyesight, but one thing that we don't get wrong is judging character. You all need to realize that shit and get on board. Because when you see black people running away from something, your ass should be following.
30 minutes or 30 years, right? So how long did I DJ for that night? 30 minutes? Yeah. Right? So David Sachs, which is the head of crypto, there are some very important people there that's going to help with the initiatives that you want to do dealing with the community in the hood. We need you to show up. We got a bag for you and a bag for the community. We just need you for 30 minutes. Boom. April, I'm there. Show up, do the show, go back to the public. Man, why he do that for him over here? Right. Why he represent him over here when all I did was something for him over here for my people over there?
His reference about 30 years versus 30 minutes shows me that he ain't recognizing what Donald Trump doing right now. This man is able to undo 75-year, 60-year precedents with the stroke of a pen. So yes, your 30 minutes compared to your 30 years is held into question.
But wait, there's more.
Especially when we start talking about what he allowed for you to do to take back to the hood. Especially when we see that politically, socially, economically, from education to healthcare, this man is gutting all of the funds that will go to your hood. So what are you talking about?
Now, I told y'all I was going to get back on Snoop's ass. I bet Snoop does feel some type of way. But this story that he says about I knew someone, so I did a favor to them, still doesn't hold water. At that time, he was supposed to stay silent. And I understand he has to feed his family, but Snoop is on a bunch of shows. Did he really need the money? And then he tries to say, well, this money was for the community. Then why didn't you say that shit? Why didn't you make that known before you went and did that gig? No, that money was for you. Nobody believes that shit. He wasn't endorsing anybody, just doing his job. That's why we hold everybody accountable. But you Black MAGA folks think that you're immune just because you can quote Booker T. Washington. Fuck y'all too.
Let's cut through the noise and tell the truth. Joe Biden was the most pro-black president since LBJ. And he did all of it in just one term. Here's the record. He had record low black unemployment. He achieved record low black child poverty, record high HBCU funding, record high black student loan forgiveness, record high SBA loans to black businesses, and he had 7 black cabinet members, the most in U.S. history. That cabinet included the first black and female vice president, first black secretary of defense, first black EPA administrator, first black head of OMB, a very important office. He also appointed the most black federal judges, including the first black woman on the United States Supreme Court. Again, Biden did all of this in one term.
I'm not saying that Biden is Malcolm X with a pen, but when you talk about record numbers for HBCU funding, black judges, and actual policy that trickled to us for once, that's a far cry from stand back and stand by Trump's call to white nationalists. I'm just saying, if y'all gonna cap, at least check the track record first. So when we see side-eye black Republicans, it ain't just because they think differently. It's because they wear the costume of the community while pulling policies that burn the village down. But if you all are willing to throw black people under the bus to get it, then we don't want you around. I'm gonna always criticize them. Y'all want a seat at the table, but too many of y'all bring knives to cut our portion smaller while you hope your piece of the pie gets bigger. And we see it. We're not gonna let you forget it. And this won't be the first time, the first video that I make about you all. Oh, I see you. We all see you. And we're not going to forget it. Stay vigilant. Stay engaged. Stay revolutionary.